So alright, so we're gonna play some Ever17 today. While we're waiting, so for 3 hours. In 3 hours, where the sweet, sweet fishing derby is going to begin. Shh. Quiet, Ever17. Yes. So for the next 10 days, there will be a contest to catch big fish in Final Fantasy XIV with some kind of gimmick. Some kind of trick. It's probably going to be linked to the fish's measured size. That seems to be where the hints are going. Or it's going to be... I don't know. Or it's going to be linked to, like, gathering level or something. I don't know. It'll be fun. We'll see. We'll find out. We'll find out in a little under 3 hours now. We'll see. We'll see. Right now, we gotta continue on with Tsugumi's life. I guess this is it? This better be freaking it. I thought I saved down here. I really did. Alright, these are all May 5th. Alright. We're hoping it's this one. Let's hit that skip and see where we are. Alright, Coco, pee-pee, things are happening. We going fast. Ooh. Oh, we got the bleeding from every orifice disease. Oh, I think we're skipping fast because I think now we're going into the lab. Alright. So we're going for Tsugumi's ending. So the important thing is that we ask Tsugumi. She is the only person we care to speak to in this. Let's make sure. Make sure what else we got. Alright, we're gonna ask Tsugumi. And then we're gonna... Our very last choice, instead of alright we're going, is gonna be wait just a second. That is all the info we got left. What are you talking about, Takashi? I'm racking my brains thinking about the same thing. Yeah, right. Alright, so Coco exploded in bleeding from every orifice disease. But Sora knows that there is a medical facility underneath Lemu, but that's all she really knows because she's the Lemu Sora. She doesn't really have particular knowledge of this facility. And she only admitted it because Tsugumi was like, fuck you can see the building from the jellyfish gondola. I know it's there. I have verified it's there. If it's not there, what's behind the door, Sora? And Sora was like, I don't know. I guess I'll tell you then. But also, I don't really know either. So, here we go now. Do you know what kind of process the store goes through when it opens? After the correct keys are input, a lever embedded inside the hatch should start to rise. As that lever turns, the lock in the door is released. However, the lever is nothing more than an ornament now. It is turned automatically using electricity, and the motor is usually locked in place.
Yeah,
I suppose they designed it so you couldn't open it up during an emergency on purpose. In that case, she pulled out a flathead screwdriver. Well, where'd she get that from? If we can get that lever off, maybe we can open this up manually. She began to insert the tip of the screwdriver into the gap between the doors and panel lines. Let's turn that down a touch. A little bit of yelling at me music. And Tsugumi jammed the screwdriver in with all her might. She tried to dig out the lever buried in the hatch by force. The alloy screwdriver crushed like a piece of candy. The lever budged slightly towards the surface of the door. However, the screwdriver bent into 2 equal parts from its handle. The lever snapped back into place. There's nothing I can do. Tsugumi threw the bent screwdriver on the floor. What next? Sure. Hey you got anything? Huh? Where do you go? Kurenari! Out of the way! Turning towards the voice coming from a few meters behind me, I saw you throw down the first aid kit she'd been carrying. Huh? Ooh-ah. She immediately came hurtling towards me as if possessed. She looked furious. I stumbled back away from the door. With a perfect flying drop kick, she threw open the panel to the electronic lock. But what are you doing? This isn't the time to be goofing off. It won't open any other way. I'm gonna break it down! You shouted as she leaned over, panting. She's so real for that. That's a little extreme. Is it? Or is it correct? Is it Takashi? Is it extreme? She's a man of action. Well, how about it? Does it look like it's gonna open? It won't budge at all! Neither the door nor the panel had changed at all. You began hitting the lock with a renewed vigor, uttering strange noises. All the lock did was make error sounds and ask politely for her to re-enter the password. In the end, you ended up with a strained finger and went back to the first aid kit. Damn, what are we gonna do? Coco was being supported by the kid. She couldn't stand up by herself. She was soon hunched over on the floor. Tried pulling her up again, but her face quickly drained of all color. This is bad. If we don't get in there quickly.
Öffnen Sie die Tür vom Himmel.
Suddenly, a voice I hadn't heard before sounded from the corridor. What's that announcement?
誰かがレミシステムにアクセスしています。
Someone is trying to access Lemmy's system. Sora flashed open her eyes and shouted.
この部屋の中、ヒンメルの端末からです。
From inside the room. From a terminal inside Himmel. What? The access indicator light for the electronic lock turned green. The hatch's lever raised and turned automatically. The door opened suddenly. Stagnant air poured out of the room. For some reason, the humidity felt like it was lower than outside. The air conditioning was humming quietly. It was white. Pure white inside. The whiteness of the wall and the floor was emphasized by the brightness of the lighting and seemed to leap out at us. Himmel. It didn't necessarily seem like a mistake to have named the room Heaven. The machines displayed nameplates with Himmel written on them. It seemed that we were in the computer control room. Hey, there's someone here. Did he open up the door just now? There was a single person in the room. He was a man who appeared to be in his 40s, dressed in a white lab coat. And blood was coming from his mouth. He passed out on the console. Hey buddy, you alright? Does he look alright, Takashi? You got a guy passed out, clearly suffering from blood from every orifice disease, and you're like, hey, we good? swear to God, Takashi. I swear to God. Something's wrong with this man. The man didn't reply to me. He just lay there motionless. Who is that guy? Sora, do you have any idea who this is?
いいえ、ID 照合できません。
No, I am unable to verify his
です
ID.
が、その服装からするとおそらく
But,
EBF の研究員の方だと思い
judging
ま
from
す。
the way he's dressed, it is safe to assume he was a researcher at the IBF facility. I put my hands on his shoulder and raised him into a sitting position. I looked over his white clothing to see if he had any name tags or other way to determine his name. Didn't have any ID card or nameplate to check. Hey, you one of the staff from the research facility?
ああ、そうだ。
That's right. Breathing faintly, the researcher replied. He seemed to be unable to open his eyes and searched for me by my voice.
君は救助隊じゃなさそうだな。
Doesn't seem like you're here to rescue me. With a shaking hand, he grabbed onto me. The hand was covered in
レ
blood.
ミューにまだ人がいたのか。あれから6日は経っただろうに。
So, there were still people in Lemu, and it's been 6 days since.
こいつは驚きだ。
What a surprise. Blood trickled from his mouth, and he smiled wryly. Hey, don't strain yourself. You don't have to talk.
すまんな。我々のせいで。
I'm so sorry. It's all our fault. What happened? Did something happen down there?
だけど、どうしてこんな、
But why all this?
こんな。
This. After that, he was silent. Hey! Hang in there! I shook his shoulders, but he didn't reply.
たけし、乱暴はやめなさいよ。
Takashi, cut it out. You're shaking him too
彼
hard.
はもう気を失っているわ。手を離してあげて。
He's unconscious. Just leave him alone for now. Tsugumi, do you like me? Let's check the debug menu. Okay, Tsugumi likes us. Okay. Let's cut down. But yeah, see, Tsugumi likes us. Sora likes us a little bit. But the important thing is Tsugumi likes us. Okay.
こうなれば、彼も一緒に連れて行くしかないでしょうね。
We'll have to bring him with us. I wondered what was going on. More importantly, I had to hurry. Didn't have a clue what was going on. We couldn't worry about that. We had to get Coco to IBF right away. You, who'd been waiting at the entrance to Himmel, went inside with Pee-Pee. The kid followed behind, carrying Coco. The door had an electronic lock on it, so we left it open.
皆さん、この部屋の奥にもう一つ部屋があります。見えますか？
Everyone, at the far end of the room is another room. Can you see it? Yeah.
ええ、わかるわ。
Yeah, I see it. We all nodded. There was a room on the other side of the glass in front of us.
あれは EBF 用の加減圧室です。
That is the compression chamber for IBF. Sora straightened up and explained the situation without emotion.
私の持つわずかなデータから判断しますと、
Judging from my incomplete data... Here, let's enter this baby. Looks like my OBS is really tiny right now, so it's like... napping too soon. There we go. We gotta be ready for the crazy screen shaking effects.
EBF には通常のレミューよりもさらに高圧のガスが封入されています。
IBF is
EBF にま
enclosed
た
in
飽和
higher
潜
pressure
水仕
gas
様と
than
いうわ
Lemu.
けです。
The IBF area is set to what is known as saturated diving
そ
specifications.
の方が特殊な細菌の研究に適しているということもあるのでしょう。EBF の内部気圧は実に約 12.5 気圧。
This type of area is also probably more suitable for research with bacteria. The atmospheric pressure of IBF is actually at about 12.5 atmospheres. So yeah, it should all actually take over 24 hours to pressurize to this. and depressurize from this. This is not fuck around levels of pressure.
皆さんにはあの部屋に入っていただきます。
I want all of you to enter that
そ
room.
して加減圧室での約1時間の加圧
1
が完了
hour?
次第専用リフト
Absolutely
で
not.
eBay
Well, I
リフ
guess
ト
to
で加工することになります
pressurize too, maybe you could. But the depressurization. See, in the Sora ending, when Takashi all heroically, like, kicks down the door to the pressurization chamber, it correctly has, like, the door to the chamber absolutely explode. It gets that right, but for some reason, Takashi survives it. Granted, only to drown with his AI girlfriend in the hours that follow, but no, he shoulda. Not actually a survivable thing. No. I don't think so.
念のため申し上げておきますが、
And I should tell you this as a
こ
precaution.
こから先は容易に後戻りすることはできません。皆さん心してください。
You will not be able to retrace your steps easily from this point on. Please give this due consideration. Takashi has never considered anything in his life. Brain hurt. You can't go back. We've got to make a decision. Alright, so this was our last Tsugumi choice, and now we gotta say, wait a second. As soon as I said that, Tsugumi glared needles
どう
at
した
me.
のたけし。まさかこの後に及んでおじけづいたりしてないでしょうね。
What's the matter, Takashi? You aren't chickening out now, are you? No, that's not it. If we're gonna spend an hour stuffed into that little room, I just wanted to make sure everyone was ready. You know, check to see if everyone had gone to the bathroom, brushed their teeth, taken a shower. And if you're gonna bring a snack, make sure it's reasonable. No microwaving fish in the decompression room. I heard two rather large sighs.
こんな時にもそんな冗談言っていられるあなたって正真正銘
Saying
神聖な
something
バ
like
カね。
that at a time like this. You really are a moron.
倉成さん、1時間くらいでしたら皆さんきっと我慢できますよ。
Kurenari-san, it'll only take 1 hour. I'm sure everyone can wait.
それより急ぎましょう。
More importantly, we need to hurry, okay? Seemed that everyone was tired of my jokes. Damn. Just wanted to put everyone at ease. Alright. Let's get moving then. When I said that again, you, the kid, Tsugumi, Sora, and Pipi all nodded in unison. The kid and you held the unconscious Coco between them. Tsugumi and I picked up the researcher, and Pipi took up the rear. Everyone lined up at the transparent sliding door on the far side of the room. Sora used the control panel on the terminal to open it up. All of us entered the room together. A single panel of reinforced glass lay between the control room and the compression chamber. More precisely, the chamber was set in the middle of the room. It had been constructed there. I brought Coco and the researcher into the room first and sat them down on chairs. Both of them had ragged breathing, and they looked to be in pain. Their faces were extremely pale and sickly. Needed to hurry. Would hate to waste an hour there. You, the kid, Tsugumi, and Pipi all stood in the open space available. With everyone in there, it was fairly crowded.
加圧が完了すれば部屋の奥の扉が自動で開いてリフトへ行けるようになりますから。
Once the compression is completed, the door on the far side should open, and you can enter the elevator. For some reason, Sora didn't enter the room, but spoke to us from in front of the entrance.
加圧は最速で行います。ちょっと辛くなるかもしれませんが、なんとか我慢してください。
I will expedite the compression process. It may be a little uncomfortable, but please bear with it. Saying that, Sora went to close the door. Sora, what's wrong? You aren't coming with us?
いえ、私
Takashi,
は
we have tread this ground so often. Sora's not real, Takashi. Come Come on, let's get started. What are you waiting for? I casually reached out towards Sora. I knew I couldn't grab her, but I did it anyway. However, as soon as I tried to touch her, sparks flew into the air. It felt as though a shock had gone through me. A transparent wall suddenly appeared in front of the door. There was a red wall of flame. A literal firewall. Oh, snap. What? Alarmed, I drew back my hand and the door closed. Sora? What was...
ここから先はコンピューターの管轄が違うんです。
From this point on, this is the jurisdiction of a different computer system. I heard Sora's voice talking to us calmly over the speaker of the compression chamber's intercom.
私はあくまでレミの機能の一部ですから EVF には降りられないんです。アクセス権限がないんですよ。
I am but a single part of Lemmy's system, therefore I am unable to go to IBF. I do not have authority to access the area.
残念ですが、ここでお見送りさせていただきます。
I'm sorry, but I will have to see you off. The wall of fire had vanished. We were in the compression chamber, shut off from the rest of the world. The sound of pumping gas, which was slowly raising the air pressure, could be heard throughout the chamber. Hey, everyone, take out your voice converters. They get in the way when you're adjusting to the pressure. Everyone did as I said and removed their voice alternators. I took out Coco's myself. Checked the researcher, but didn't seem he was wearing any. After that, hardly anyone said a word. We were all waiting for the time to pass. Sora could be seen outside of the chamber's window. She didn't move, only stood and watched us. Which, to be fair, does not check out. So if Sora's systems can't operate in here, how is she being projected upon their retinas? Just a question. And then the lock from the door on the far side of the chamber clicked and released. We felt a subtle change in pressure, and the lift down to IBF opened. We all filed into it one by
そ
one.
れでは皆さん、どうかご無事で。
Everyone, take care. We could hear her voice from the speaker on the other side of the room, but we couldn't see her. I wondered if I would ever see her up close again. Cocking my head to one side, I thrust the voice alternators back into my ears. Everyone got aboard the lift. As soon as the doors closed, the elevator started sliding down.
Tiefe, 70 Meter. Tiefe, 80 Meter. Tiefe, 90 Meter.
What could be below heaven? More heaven or...
Tiefe, 119 Meter.
The door to the elevator opened. The passage extended in two directions from the elevator room. I went in one of those. Everything was totally dark, and I could hardly tell where I was headed. Fearfully, I took a step forward. Suddenly, as if someone had noticed our arrival, the lights went on in the room. Is someone here?
勝手についたみたいだったけど。
It's called a motion detector, Takashi. It's not new technology. I think they just turned on by themselves.
センサーが反応して、コンピューターが照明を操作した。
The sensors reacted and the computer activated the lights?
わからないけど、あり得るね。
I'm not sure, but it's possible. Seemed there was a pool where a small submarine could dock. The pool was a 2-layer structure, but there was no sign that seawater could flow in. Felt a little hot in there, but it seemed as if the air conditioning was still working properly. Perhaps the place was even more comfortable than the flooded Dreiderstock. But there was no sign of anyone. Anyway, let's go where we have to go. We opened the watertight door at the other side of the room and continued deeper into the installation. Passageway the same size as Lemu's emergency corridors. No. Maybe even smaller, led off into the distance. For some reason, the whole place seemed colder, less alive than the structure above. As we continued down the corridor, lights would go on automatically a few meters ahead of us. Well, it certainly seemed computer-controlled. As we continued moving, the lights followed us, lighting up only the areas around us. The corridor branched off in a few directions, but all of them ended at watertight doors that were closed. Wondered if IBF had entirely flooded except for one part. Anyway, the number of areas we could enter was limited. Luckily, we found the examination room right away. Turned the handle and opened the door. You and the kid laid Coco down on a nearby table. Tsugumi and I slowly lowered the researcher down into a chair. There were a few ordinary beds in the examination room and the same kind of LMRI that we had found in Lemu's infirmary. There were numerous medical instruments that looked like you might see only in science fiction movie. Wondered what in the world they were for. I had no idea. Hey, you! Where's that high-pressure oxygen thing that Sora was talking about?
わかんないよ、そんなの。
How should I know? Tsugumi, what should we do?
調べるしかないわ。ここのことは誰も知らないんだから。
Well, we'll have to look for it. None of us know a thing about this place.
待て。
Wait! The researcher coughed as he spoke. Hey, don't move. Are you okay?
無事とは言えんが、まだ生きてるよ。
I've been better, but at least I'm alive. With his eyes closed, he raised his hands weakly in
こ
response.
の匂い。ここは EBF か。
This smell, is this IBF?
戻ってきてしまったな。
So I'm back where I started. So you were working here. Well then, there's something I want to ask you. We're looking for some kind of high-pressure oxygen treatment device. We've come as far as the examination room, but we don't have a clue where to look. Can you help us, please?
酸素治療。ああ、ポッドだな。
Oxygen treatment. Yeah, you're looking for the pod.
合金製のカプセルがあるはずだ。中にマットが敷いてある。
There should be some alloy capsules with mats set inside of them.
円筒形の柱にくっついてるやつだ。見えるかい？
Look like a bunch of cylinders stuck to a pillar. You see them? Yeah, they're right in front of me. With the really subtle cross on them?
そいつがそうだ。
That's them. Hang in there, we found them. So don't waste your energy talking anymore, okay? New blood appeared on the researcher's closed hand as he wiped his
あ
mouth.
とはマニュアルを見てくれ。操作は簡単なはずだ。
Just take a look at the manual. They should be easy to operate. Okay, gotcha. Strength left the researcher's hand. Just before he collapsed, I grabbed onto his shoulder to support his body. Let's put him in a pod. And Coco, too.
ええ、そうね。
Tsugumi and I got on either side of the researcher and supported him. We brought him over to where the 3 pods were. When I pressed the button on the side of one, its hatch opened. I put him down gently inside. When I pressed the button again, the capsule pod closed again silently. The kid and you laid Coco down in another pod. The hatch to the pod closed soon after. Did you find the manual?
見つけた。こっちのコントロールパネルで。
Yeah, this is the control panel. You started operating a terminal a short distance away.
酸素治療。セット。
High pressure oxygen treatment? Set. The screens of the monitors attached to the tubes flickered. Both of the pods seemed to be functioning normally.
大丈夫なはずよ。
That should do it. Okay. The condition of the people inside the pods was monitored and appeared on the control panel. Blood pressure, heart rate, respiration rate. The expressions on their faces were even visible. I watched them for a few minutes. Coco and the researcher, whose name we didn't know. It was a slow process, but they both seemed to be gradually returning to normal.
よかった。
I'm so relieved.
ええ、よかったわ。本当に。
Tell me about it.
うん。
Looks like we made it in time. Run. We let out a collective sigh of relief. It seemed as if we'd escaped the worst for the moment. Well, we don't have time to hang around, you know. I didn't know if the situation at IBF was any different than Lemu. There might have been other survivors, or a way out, even communications. Could possibly even find information about TB, not tuberculosis. Tifblach, the bleed from every orifice disease. It was best to search as much as time would allow. Everyone agreed, so Tsugumi the kid and I went around looking around IBF. You had the most medical knowledge, so she stayed in the examination room with Pee-Pee to look after Coco and the researcher. Because we were unfamiliar with the area, the three of us set out together to look around. We all walked around IBF, but since there were only a few places, there wasn't much to see. Almost all of the corridors had been blocked off. There were many doors that didn't open. When I tried forcing open one of the doors, a terrible smell started pouring out, so I hurriedly closed it again. From what I had seen during the brief moment the door was open, a few researchers covered in blood had died while clawing at their throats. I didn't really want to think of what had happened there. It wasn't hard to imagine that the situation had been the same or worse than what happened at Lemu. Let me think. 6 teenagers pissing around and eating tuna sandwiches for a week. Or choking on your own blood because you caught the Super Ebola virus. I don't know. It is hard to say which is worse, Takashi. Something tells me that they weren't playing tag at any point, though. And probably weren't having crazy gondola sex with a goth chick. Alright, but fair, Takashi. Who knows which one's worse? Who knows? Another room was empty of people. There were a few computer terminals there. Operating the terminals, we were able to scan through some of the information left there. There was some information about Tif Blau. Symptoms: fever, chills, headache, aching muscles, loss of appetite, vomiting, diarrhea, stomach pains, etc. As it progresses, the patient begins to hemorrhage from the mouth, gums, conjunctiva, nasal cavity, the skin, and the alimentary canal, and has a high probability of dying. Death rate after contracting the illness? Over 85%. Symptoms first appear similar to that of a common cold, and while they may temporarily improve, the patient's condition will again rapidly deteriorate, resulting in hemorrhaging. But when we did use route, they talked about how Tif Blau was cured. So here, it has an 85% mortality rate. But there, it was not only known about, but cured. Incubation period? Normally 2 to 7 days. After that point, all the data was corrupted, and it was not clear what else was written. Other than that, we came across some interesting information by accident. In the corner of a business log, IBF Visitor Registry, Yagami Coco. Coco's name had been listed. Looking further into the file, there seemed to be a personal memo written by somebody. I get to see my daughter for the first time in a while. Her school is on vacation, so she has a 10-day break. I've been trapped for so long in this tin can doing virus research that I'm jealous. That aside, when I told her that special permission had been granted for her to come down and see IBF, she sent me a happy reply saying she would. We've exchanged mail every once in a while, but I wonder how long it's been since we've actually seen each other. I'll just be happy if she hasn't forgotten what I look like. T.Y. T.Y.? I thought they were probably the initials of Dr. Yagami, Coco's dad. Which meant that Coco had visited IBF once before May 1st. To meet her father. We didn't find any other survivors in IBF. The kid, Tsugumi, and I all went back to the examination room. You, how are they doing?
今のところは大丈夫だよ。
Looks like they're doing okay for now. You looked tired as she sat down and faced the pod's control panel. I looked at the monitor showing vital signs. Blood pressure, heart rate, respiration rate, they all seemed to have stabilized for the moment.
そうだ、クラナリ。さっきここの端末で医療用データベースを確認したんだけど。
Oh, yeah, Kuranari, I checked the medical database on this terminal earlier, but... I hesitantly asked you, did you find something?
ティーフブラウイルスの治療法。決定的なものはまだ発見されていないみたい。
It looks as if they still haven't found any definite way to treat the Tiefblau virus.
対処療法として例のオレンジアンプルの注射で症状を一時的に緩和することはできるけど、
Although the symptoms can be temporarily treated by injecting that
あ
orange
とは
serum,
確率の低い自然治癒を待つしか方法はないらしいの。
otherwise, the only option is to hope for the small chance it'll clear up by itself. Oh. That sucks. Great, Takashi. Very well said.
それってどういうこと？
What do you mean? You had trouble finding the words, so Tsugumi took over for her.
そうね。つまり
Well, basically,
ココが治るにはココ自身の免疫機能が頑張るしかないってこと。
if Coco is going to heal, her immune system is going to have to work a little harder.
私たちは彼女をポットに入れて、あとは祈るしかない。
We've brought her to the treatment pod, so all we can do now is hope.
そうだね。
Yeah,
そういうことになる。
that's all we can do.
そんなここは治らないの？
Coco isn't going to get any better? The kid looked like he was about to cry. Nobody said that. Whether she gets better or not is up to Coco's will to live. The kid walked over to the pod where Coco was sleeping.
ここ。
He started to cry, latching onto the pod as though he was embracing it.
あのポットがココをどれだけ助けてくれるかも未知数なの。
We still don't know how much this pod is going to help Coco. You murmured softly as she read the life signs on the monitor.
高圧酸素治療の他にもレーザーでの減筋やら簡単な手術のできる機能も備わってるらしいし。
It seems that this pod can also do laser disinfecting as well as simple surgery, in addition to the oxygen treatment.
使い方によってはハイバネーションすら可能のようだけど。
And, depending on how you use it, even cryogenic suspension, which I feel like this is Chekhov's gun. But I don't know. I don't know.
ハイバネーション？
We all heard her say hibernation. What's that, you?
わからない。マニュアルにそうあっただけ。
Not sure. It's just in the manual.
結局、私たちには何も分かってない。
We don't really know what's going to happen.
今は信じて待つしかないの。
All we can do is have faith and wait. A sharp alarm sounded from the control panel monitor. Not knowing what it was, we all looked at the monitor at once. The kid ran over to where we were. Oh, that guy's not doing hot. An agonized expression came over the face of the researcher. He thrashed and contorted inside of the cramped capsule. Hey, man! The researcher coughed violently and clawed at his throat. His hand and the area around his mouth were stained red. Well, a little dramatic, don't we think? The color drained from his skin. His breathing became shallow and he groaned in a low voice.
そんな、いきなり容体が変わるなんて。
I can't believe his condition would change like this. Hey man, stop grabbing at your throat like that. You'll crush it. I'm impressed he could move that much in one of these. He slowly lowered his hands, which he'd been thrashing at his throat with. Hey man, are you alright?
Yeah.
No. Finally, somebody gives Takashi an answer he can understand.
もうここまで。
This is as far as I can make it. The researcher was barely breathing. I'm barely breathing. He was trying to breathe. He let out a gasp, but wasn't able to bring in air.
これも報いか。
This is my reward. You pored over the manual and desperately searched the control panel, but there was nothing she could do. There was no way for her to keep him alive. She pounded on the manual. Then she placed both elbows on the panel and covered her face with her hands. Ah. She burst into tears. Tsugumi and the kid gazed at the monitor with strained expressions. The researcher's vital signs were getting weaker.
娘を
My daughter.
娘を頼むぞ。
Take care of my daughter. He looked as though he was smiling, and his eyes closed. He would never move again. The life readings from the capsule pod went blank, and an electronic alarm sounded for what seemed like forever. We couldn't save him. We didn't have the power to save that man whose name we didn't even know. I reached out my hand to the panel and turned off the alarm. How is Coco?
正常。
You replied in a voice filled with tears.
今のところは問題ないよ。
There doesn't seem to be anything wrong for the moment. Okay. Thanks. We'll have to make sure he gets a proper burial. Yeah. Everyone was motionless for a while. Proof of how serious the situation was lay right before our eyes. But time rolled ever forward. We didn't have any more room to play around. Dragging my legs, which seemed suddenly very heavy, I went to check all the areas in IBF once again. We had to find a way out as soon as possible. After searching again, the only thing we realized was that all the escape pods were gone. The researchers had probably used them to get out. There was no deep water diving gear, no oxygen tanks, meaning all routes of escape had been cut off. We were quickly approaching the earliest estimated time for Lemu's implosion. It was almost May 6th, 4:30 p.m. We finished making our rounds. The kid had gone back into the examination room with you and Coco earlier. Tsugumi and I were talking in the corridor. Looks like we don't have any options.
そうね。で、どうするの？
So, what do you want to do? What do I... I'm thinking about it. Really? Tsugumi smiled
た
slightly.
けしって本当に悪あがきが好きみたいね。
You really like to waste your time, don't you, Takashi? But this isn't wasting time.
ごめんね。でも
Sorry, but
やっぱりそうやってる方がたけしらしい感じがする。
seems like something you'd do. Thinking about things that are impossible? I said that, Tsugumi puffed up her cheeks.
もう違うでしょ。
No, I don't mean that.
たけしの意地悪。
Why do you have to tease me? I never thought I'd hear you say that. I have no idea what to do, but we'll find a way out of this somehow. We've made it this far. Tsugumi laughed at my efforts to sound positive.
ええ、そうよね。
Yeah,
大丈夫ってやつよね。
I'm sure we'll be fine. Sure, it's gonna be alright. A sound roared in the distance. It was probably being transmitted through the water to IBF, where we were. Was it the sound of the thermal vents? I wondered if Lemu was still hanging in there. Although the situation we were in didn't look great, there were still various options available to us. Hey, Tsugumi, about that old guy.
研究員の彼。
The
残念。
researcher? Too bad, huh? Yeah, but I was thinking, why was he the only one left here? Everyone else got out earlier, right? Well, besides those guys that didn't make it, but
彼には逃げられない事情があったのよ。
I'm sure some kind of circumstances kept him from escaping and circumstances that kept him alive. Circumstances?
端末の並んだ部屋で見つけた記録、覚えてる？
Do you remember the entry logs we found on the terminals? Yeah, there were a few of them. Ah, wait, are you saying...
気づいた？あの業務日誌の記録。
You remember? That journal entry we found. Oh. It was him. His last words had been, take care of my daughter.
あの研究員こそが、おそらくココの父親だったの。
That was Coco's dad. T.Y. Dr. Yagami, huh? He probably knew that Coco was here when the accident hit Lemu.
きっと。
Yeah,
そうね。
I'm sure he did.
レミューにいるかもしれないココのことを思って、彼は生き延びたのかもしれない。
Maybe he survived because he was thinking about his daughter. Leaning against the wall, we watched the waves that calmly lapped in the pool. What do you think about Coco's condition? Why did Coco get TB anyway?
そうね。ココは5月1日以前に一度この EBF に降りている。
Well, Coco had been to IBF at least once before May 1st.
その時すでに EBF で研究していたティーフブラウイルスが漏れていたとしたら。
Maybe there was already an outbreak of the Tiefblau virus at that time. What?
ティーフブラウの潜伏期間は2日から7日。
Tiefblau's incubation period is 2 to 7 days. That's consistent with the timing of Coco's symptoms, isn't it? Yeah, I guess you're right. When Coco came to IBF, she was probably exposed to TB somehow. Nodding to myself, I figured that had to be the most probable possibility.
ただし、EBF の連中もしばらくの間、恐ろしいティーフブラウが館内に蔓延していることに気づかなかった。
However, everyone at IBF probably didn't realize the terrible truth that Tiefblau was spreading inside the installation.
やがて感染者が何人も発見され、署内はパニック。
When they found out a few people had been infected, they must have panicked, and the situation got out of hand.
ウイルスにより死者の続出。我先にと脱出していく署員たち。
As people started dying, the staff here tried to escape, and when the escape pods ran out... Wait, that means... That alarm meant... The alarm we heard on May 1st in Lemu was... I couldn't stop myself from asking. Tsugumi frowned and continued.
恐怖に駆られたスタッフの誰かが強引に EBF からレミューに上がり、
Probably one of the terrified staff members forced their way up from IBF to Lemu.
通常の体感減圧の手続きを踏まずに緊急通路を開いてインゼルヌルに出てしまった。
Without following the standard decompression procedure, they opened the emergency corridors and fled up to Incel Null.
その通路はしばらく開け放たれたままになった。
Those corridors remained open for a while. And the built-up gas inside the complex quickly escaped, which brought down the pressure. A section of Lemu started flooding, and the watertight doors closed. And that's how we ended up getting stuck here.
ええ、そうよ。
That's right.
つまりレミューで聞いたあの警報は
Meaning the alarm that went off in Lemu.
館内の圧力異常とウイルスの漏洩、二重の意味があって発令された。そう考えられるわね。
Was for the abnormal installation pressure readings and the virus outbreak. You could say it served a couple of functions. All I could do was sigh in frustration. That's the reason no rescue team is coming here.
きっとそのせいなのね。
I'm sure that's it. With a solemn face, Tsugumi nodded.
ティーフブラウイルスが外の世界に漏れてしまっては大変なことになる。
If the Tiefblau virus got out to the world outside, it would be devastating.
たとえ生存者がいようとも、ウイルスと共に海の中に閉じ込めておく必要があった。
So, even if there were survivors in here, it would be necessary to lock them at the bottom of the ocean.
もしかしたらライプリヒ製薬が事故自体を隠蔽しようとしているのかもしれない。
Lieblich Pharmaceuticals may even be trying to hide the fact there was an accident at all.
私たちがここにいることを知りながら。
Knowing all the while that we're trapped in here. I kicked a dirty old bottle that was at my feet. They landed in the pool and slowly sunk. And I walked around, making stomping sounds as I went. I'm a baby man. Grump, grump, grump. Sounds of our feet echoed loudly off the walls of the narrow corridor. Well, if that's the case,
あれって
then, well, you know, that means we gotta get ourselves back up to the surface, no matter what.
どう
Why
し
is
て
that? So we can tell the media all about what's happening here. That's why. We're gonna put it to Lieblich. No matter what, okay?
なるほど
Okay.
その息よたけしらしくなってきた
That's more like the Takashi I know. Puffing out her cheeks slightly, Tsugumi looked at me. Really?
ええ
Yeah.
私も
Me too.
私もたけしと
I want to go with you, Takashi. Together. Huh? Did you say something?
なんでもない
Tsundere! For some reason, Tsugumi's face was red. Huh? I felt strange and suddenly stopped. I looked up.
たけし
Takashi,
どうしたの
what's wrong? Tsugumi followed my gaze to the ceiling. There was nothing there. She turned her gaze to me. Not really sure, but for some reason, it's hard to breathe all of a sudden.
たけしあなた鼻血が
Your nose is bleeding.
鼻血が出てる
You've got a nosebleed. I quickly put my hand to my nose. My upper lip was wet with something. Hey,
ちょっと
are you
大丈夫
okay? Tsugumi looked worriedly at my face. It's fine, it's fine. I looked up and wiped under my nose as I replied. I wasn't thinking about anything sexy. Takashi. Not the time for jokey joke.
別に私そんなこと気にしてない
I don't care about that. Alright then. My nose wouldn't stop bleeding. Ha! I look like such a dork.
格好なんかどうでもいいじゃない
Who cares what you look like? I care. Looking like this in front of you. Ugh.
はって何
What?
ね
Come on, what? Tsugumi started shaking my shoulder. What you? I let out a huge sneeze. Blood flew not only from my nose, but also from my mouth in large amounts. It splattered all over the floor and onto the wall. Whoa! I was suddenly assaulted by dizziness. The world felt like it was spinning. For some reason, I can't keep steady. Although I didn't feel so great, it seemed funny for some reason, and I laughed. Ha! What's with this?
たけししっかりして
Takashi, hang in there! Quit shaking me. It's making me feel sick.
ごめん
No, I'm fine. I'm fine. Don't worry, Tsugumi.
全然大丈夫じゃない
You're not fine at all.
血まみれじゃないのよたけし
You're bleeding all over, Takashi.
診療室に行きましょうすぐ見てもらった方がいいわ
We need to get you to the examination room and get you looked at right away. Yeah. It wasn't a good situation. I needed to get a hold of myself. I tried to calm myself down. With Tsugumi supporting me, I walked down the corridor. Just then, a door flew open in front of us. It was the examination room. Out of it flew you.
すぐみ来るなり少年が大変なの
The kid's in bad shape. Her face changed color as she shouted.
少年がどうしたの
Kid? What's wrong?
大変なのよいいからとにかく中へ
He's in trouble. It'll be faster if you come in and look. Ah! No, Kuranari. You too?
何もなの
You noticed the shape I was in and her face turned pale.
たけし
も
Takashi 2? What are you talking about? The kid was sleeping on the LMRI table. His results from the scan came up on the control panel's monitor. Tief Blau, 2017. Vision 17.
少年もティーフ・ブラウンに感染してる。
The kid's been infected with Tief Blau too. Yeah, how could that happen? Why? He's been with us the whole time, so why did he get it? Because we were all hanging out with Coco for the last week. Why and where did he get Tief Blau? I mumbled to myself, finding it hard to breathe all of a sudden.
たけし、落ち着きなさいよ。
Takashi, just calm down.
ティーフ・ブラウンの正確な感染経路は私たちには分かってないんだから。
None of us know where he got exposed to it.
たけし、あなたもスキャンを受けて。
Takashi, I want you to get scanned too. Why? Why do you think, Guy? Do you think it could be because you a little bit got the Tief Blau?
スキャンを受けてよ。お願いだから。
Let me scan you, please.
いきなり鼻と口から血を吹くなんて普通じゃないわ。
It isn't normal to start spewing blood from your nose and mouth, okay? Yeah, I know, but... Tsugumi gently took the kid off the LMRI examination table and forcefully put me up on it. Pressing down on both my shoulders, she forced me down on the table. You don't have to do that. Fine, I'll let you check me. I brushed Tsugumi's hands off of me. See, I'm lying down now.
オッケー。ユウ、スキャンをお願い。
You, please, start the scan. You started operating the control panel. The scanning light from the laser crawled slowly up my body. After a while,
スキャン完了。
the scan's finished. What's it say? My voice cracked when I asked the question. At least say something, you.
結果は
The results are... You stared at the panel without moving.
結果は黒。
The result is positive. You're
More
infected too, Takashi. Tsugumi read the monitor for me. Really?
残念だけど
I'm sorry to say it, but...
EBF に来て。ずっと以前からレミューにいた頃から私たち全員
Since coming to IBF... No. It must have been longer. Since coming to Lemu. All of us
とっくの昔にティーフ・ブラウンに感染していたの。
have been infected for quite some time. Tsugumi hung her head and let out a big sigh. Damn it! I stood up from the LMRI and was assaulted by a terrible dizzy spell. Oh!
たけし危ない
Takashi, watch out! The one to steady me from falling was the kid. But from the looks of it, his legs weren't very steady either. Putting my hand on a wall, I somehow held myself up.
困ったもんだね
We're in trouble, huh? You could say that again.
例のアンプルがあればオレンジのアンプル
Only we had that serum. The orange one. Ugh. Kid pressed his hand to his face. As he wiped his mouth, I noticed a thin trail of blood there. Yeah, the serum. They've been handling TB here at IBF. They should have some of that. If we use that, then the symptoms should lessen. Went around the examination room and checked to see if we could find it anywhere. Tsugumi and you hurriedly started checking through the medicine cabinets. The kid sank to the floor. He didn't look very good. His breathing was ragged. He had lines of pain etched on his face.
ダメないみたい。
It's no good. Doesn't look like there's any here.
こっちも見当たらないわ。
I can't find any either. Two of them were shaking their heads. Damn! What are we gonna do? It makes absolutely no sense that these ampules were, like, up in Lemu either. So if this was just a virus they were, like, researching, And they didn't particularly expect people to get on on account of it murderizing. Why would they have ampoules of some experimental serum treatment in the Disneyland portion of the laboratory? I don't know. Seems sus to me. Dunno. Exactly. Hey, Pee-Pee, you seem like you're doing pretty well. Without me noticing, Pee-Pee had come up and was darting around my legs. His tail was wagging frantically. He suddenly dropped a few small objects from his mouth. Hey, where'd you get? And how does the dog know? How? You ran over to where we were. This is the orange serum. She picked up one of the fallen objects in front of Pee-Pee. Inside it was a small capsule. A capsule with orange liquid inside of it. Four of them had fallen on the floor. Where'd you find that, Pee-Pee? I didn't know if he understood me, but I asked Pee-Pee anyway. Why not? Ask the dog. What'd that dog do? Pee-Pee shook his head from side to side. Were there any more of these? He shook his head. This is all of them? What'd that dog do? He nodded. Well, we need to take these immediately. Sorry, you, but get these ready. You're the only one who knows how to give shots. I found syringes over here, so here, you. I don't know why I had Tsugumi addressing herself. I read good, it's fine. We gathered all the cartridges of serum from the floor and put them on the bed. Did whoever did this localization not know how to spell ampule or something? Maybe so. Looking slightly doubtful, you prepared the syringes one at a time and gave the kid and me our shots. Oh, we can relax for a while now. Thank you, you. You're welcome. Sitting with his back against the wall, the kid gave you a thumbs up. After that, he smiled and closed his eyes. He must have fallen asleep. Tsugumi and I carried the kid over to an empty bed. What do we do about Coco? She's still undergoing the oxygen treatment, so we can't open the pod. It looks like the treatment is progressing normally. As long as she's in there, I don't think her condition will get much worse. So why would we not start treatment on the kid immediately? Boom, get his treatment going. Boom, Coco ends, treat Takashi. Kid treatment ends, boom, treat you. Tsugumi's fine, she's immortal. Just saying. As soon as it's done, let's give Coco a shot too. Yeah, okay. Oh, yeah, you should probably give yourself a shot too, don't you think, you? No, The next shot had already been prepared, but for some reason, Yu was stalling. Suddenly, she started coughing. Hey, give yourself a shot, quickly! But I just... She couldn't stop coughing. Her arm that held the syringe started to shake. Breathe deep! Her coughing finally stopped, but her hands wouldn't go still. What's wrong? You aren't feeling well? You want me to give the shot to you? No way! I don't like shots. Huh? She said what she said, man. You didn't have any problem sticking everybody else. You don't like getting them yourself? Yeah, 'cause they hurt. You puffed out her cheeks stubbornly. What are you talking about? Your life's on the line here. You don't have a choice, so give me the syringe. Reaching out quickly, I latched onto Yu's arm. Tsugumi! Hold her down.
了解。
Tsugumi forced Yu to sit on the bed and held her so she couldn't move. What are you doing? Stop complaining. Hey, where do you think you're sticking that? You're getting it all wrong. Not there. Stop mangling me. Ow! Stop! Go more slowly. Well, stop squirming around so much. The angle's all wrong. You're gonna get air bubbles in it. Which is granted a whole big thing that we have a lot of concerns about on account of our pressurization situation. But stop complaining. You can't do it yourself. You suck. Shut up. She's having a bad time. Tsugumi slumped her shoulders. Yu was throwing a tantrum like a spoiled child. Small droplets of red stained the white sheets of the bed. After that, Yu got scanned on the LMRI. As suspected, she had come down with TB. We didn't have room to mess around anymore. In the end, Yu wouldn't let me do it, so she ended up giving herself the shot, complaining the whole time with tears in her eyes. Not sure how long our condition will hold with just one shot. Yu, think we can do anything after it stops working? She was sitting at the computer terminal, silently typing on the keyboard. Yu, tell me, what can we expect? Don't talk to me, I can't concentrate. Alright. I'm trying my best. Someone put a lock on the communications protocol and we can't make contact with the surface. Every once in a while, I found some communication data that crosses through. I can release that lock, or well... Anyway, we might be able to get through somehow. At least it's better than Lemu, where we had no way of making contact. Alright, show me what you got, genius.
Okay.
I left you for a while and went to look at the monitor attached to the capsule pod. Tsugumi came to stand over next to me, looked at the monitor. How's Coco doing? She's in serious but stable condition. According to the monitor, it would be 4 hours before Coco could leave the pod. The pod was full of high-pressure oxygen. We couldn't take Coco out of there until the time had come. That's what I was saying, Tsugumi. We should probably get the kid into a pod, don't you think? Yeah, let's get it ready. For some reason, we couldn't get the hatch on the furthest pod to close. It wasn't easy, but I took the dead researcher out of his pod and set him down outside. Just gently, nope. That's that. Dr. T.Y. He was dead. But he had looked like he was smiling at the very end, but his expression had betrayed his agony after all. It was probably best that Coco hadn't seen her father's dead face. Tsugumi sterilized the pod and finished cleaning up. I shook awake the kid who was sleeping in the bed. Hey, kid, the pod's ready, wake up.
Takeshi.
He slowly opened his eyes. Sorry to wake you, kid, but I need you to get in the capsule pod.
What?
He opened his eyes wide at my words.
他のみんなは
What about everyone else? There's only one pod we can really use, so you get in.
やだ
No way! What?
やだどうして僕だけそんな抜け駆けみたいなことはできないよ
Forget it. Why should I be the only one to? I can't just abandon everyone. It's not like that. It's about how sick you are. You're the most serious case after Coco.
それでも嫌だ
But still, forget it.
一旦ポットに入ったらしばらく出られないんだろ
Once I get in the pod, I can't get out for a while, right?
嫌だよ僕はココのそばにいたいんだ
No way. I want to stay by Coco. To be fair, you would be next to Coco. Getting up out of bed, the kids staggered quickly over to
み
Coco's
んなが
pod.
一緒に助かるって分かるまでここを動きたくない
I'm not moving from here until we know that everyone's getting out. He clung to the pod. Thought about trying to pull him off, but he seemed absolutely determined not to move. Stupid brat. What the hell are you saying? Forgetting my own exhaustion, I began shouting at the kid. Don't you want to escape? If you want to get out, you have to listen to me. If you get any worse. Even if you get in the pod, it might be too late.
でも
But listen, there's only one shot of serum left. I pointed to the orange capsule left on the empty bed. So, what? Wait, why is there one left? All of a sudden, the questions flew. Hey! You turned away from the terminal as well.
何言ってるのよ。
What are you talking about?
そのアンプルはココの分でしょ？
That cartridge is for Coco, right? Tsugumi mumbled with her face slightly turned away.
そっか。
So that's it. Everyone's gazes finally rested on Tsugumi.
ねえ、つぐみ。私、あなたに注射をまだしてない。
You know, Tsugumi, I still haven't given you an injection.
それが、ど
Yeah,
うしたっていうの？
so? Tsugumi mumbled with her eyes averted.
さっき、忘れたままだったの。少年と倉成にアンプルを注射して、その後私が暴れて、そのまま。
I'd forgotten before. I injected Kurinari and the kid with a shot. Then I got busy and then...
だから、4つあったアンプルは1つだけ残ってる。
So out of the 4 shots, we still have one left. Get up from the terminal, you spoke. Acidly.
つぐみ、体調はどうなの？
How are you feeling, Tsugumi?
辛くないの？
You're not in pain? Come to think of it, Tsugumi didn't have any symptoms. She didn't show any signs of the TB virus. I dredged up Tsugumi's old words from the depths of my memory. Highly improved immune system and increased metabolic efficiency. Telomeres that continue to rejuvenate. It couldn't be.
スキャンを受けてつぐみ。今すぐに。
Tsugumi, I want you to get scanned right now. Cure virus P carrier. Tsugumi's genetic makeup had been altered by Cure, giving her incredible regenerative powers against illness and injuries. Tsugumi had also been infected with TB, but she'd already been able to make the antibodies and drive out the virus. Cure. Tsugumi had gone beyond the normal human capability. She'd mentioned that she was special. Successful cases of genetic manipulation were probably exceedingly rare.
キュレイ。
Looking at the results from the LMRI scan, you nodded.
レミューのデータベースで見つけて、それ以前に一度だけ聞いたことがあったけど、
I found it in Lemu's database, but I'd heard about it once before.
つぐみがキュレイのキャリアだったなんて。
I never would have imagined you're a carrier of the Cure virus, Tsugumi.
軽蔑してもらって結構よ。
I don't care if you hate
軽
me.
蔑だなんてそんな。
Hate you? Why would I?
じゃあ怖い？
Well, then are you scared?
私が怖いでしょユウ。
You're scared of me, aren't you, you?
本当は関わり合いになりたくないと思っていたんでしょ。
You're probably thinking you don't want any more to do with me, right?
そんなことないよ。
I wouldn't think that. You shook her head fiercely.
どうして？
Why?
どうしてそう思うのよ。
Why would you say that?
だって
Well, Tsugumi bit her lips and said,
私だけがほらこうして苦しまずにいるじゃないの。
Because I can be here, and I don't have to
あな
suffer.
たたちが血を吐いてやがて床に這うのを心の中で嘲笑っているかもしれないのよ。
It could be that I'll just watch all of you throw up blood, and eventually, when you're crawling on the floor, I'll be laughing at you.
そういうひどい人間なのよ。
Because I'm a cruel person like that. You couldn't look Tsugumi in the eyes.
そうは思わないよ僕は。
Well, I don't think you're like that. Clutching Coco's pod, the kid spoke up.
つぐみがひどいやつだなんて思っていないよ。だって
I don't think you're a bad person at all, I mean.
つぐみはココを助けたことがあるじゃないか。
You're the one who saved Coco, right?
命がけで誰かを助けたことがあるじゃないか。
You risked your life to save someone.
だから何なのよ。
Yeah? So what?
私は今そうしたことを悔いている。
Tell you the truth, I regret it
ココ
now.
は今ティーフ・ブラウンによって苦しめられているじゃないの。
Coco is suffering from Tief Blau now, isn't she?
ポットの中で苦しんでいるじゃないの。
She's stuck in that pod and she's suffering.
私が気まぐれで彼女を救ったりしなければそんなことに
Hadn't
はなら
had
な
the
かった。
stupid whim to do that. This wouldn't be happening right now. The kid turned away from Tsugumi. It's Tsugumi! Stop it right now! I yelled at her with all of my might. I ran over to her and grabbed her by her collar. Are you still talking garbage like that? Saying things you don't really mean?
本心よ。
I mean it. Stop lying to yourself.
嘘なんかじゃない。
It isn't a lie.
だって
I...
事実だもん。私だけが今
It's the
ティーフ・
truth.
ブラウンにかかっていない。
The only one who TB isn't affecting is me. Ha! I let go of Tsugumi.
どうたけし。事実を受け入れる気に。
So how about it, Takeshi? Are you ready to accept the truth now? Tsugumi, probably just pretending, smiled and looked at me. Yeah, it's an indisputable fact. Fine, I'll accept it. But you might just help us get better.
なんですって。
What did you say? Just then, Tsugumi's expression became serious. I'm not a doctor, so I can't really tell, but smallpox, penicillin, snake antivenom. You're pretty smart. This should make sense to you, right?
まさか
No way.
そんな。
It's our only chance. Your body is creating antibodies to the Tiefblau virus, so we'll use that. If we can get those antibodies, then there's a small chance we can fight off the Tiefblau.
無茶よ。馬鹿げてる。
It's too dangerous. Tsugumi's expression was getting more and more worked
そん
up.
なに簡単じゃないのよ。抗生物質やワクチンを生成するのは。
Do you have any idea how hard it is to make antibodies and vaccines that work?
浅はかにも程があるわ。
There's almost no
う
chance.
かつにそんなことをしてみんなが死んでしまったらどうするのよ。
If you make even the slightest mistake, it could kill all of you. If we don't do anything, we're dead anyway. She sucked in her breath. Without moving, Tsugumi's expression turned to ice. You and the kid, who'd been staring at the ground the whole time, raised their heads and looked at me. That's right. If we don't do anything, we're dead. And if that's the case, it's better that we take this risk, no matter how small our chance of survival. Cough. Splash. Damn it, not another nosebleed. A nosebleed and I'm coughing up blood. Can't believe how lame this is. I wiped off my nose and my chin. What? You aren't gonna laugh at me for being such a dork, Tsugumi? Come on. Laugh, Tsugumi. I held out my hand toward her. It was covered in blood.
近寄らないで。
Stop it. Stay away from me. Stop, I don't
嫌よ、私は。
don't want to. Shaking her head fiercely, Tsugumi backed away.
クラナに。
Yu was moving to stand up, but I lifted a hand, signaling her to stop.
聞いて、クラナリ。すぐにも。
Listen, Kurenari. Tsugumi. Yu opened her mouth to talk from where she was seated at the
この診療
terminal.
室の奥に簡単なラボがあるの。
There's a simple lab in the back of the examination
遠
room.
心分離機のついたアンプル生成用のマシーンも備えられている。
I saw a centrifuge and a machine for refining
あれ
serum.
なら素早く正確にティーフブラウ抗体を抽出できるかもしれない。
We could probably use that to safely and quickly extract the Tiefblau
ティ
antibodies.
ーフブラウをスキャンで見つけられるんだから、きっと抗体もスキャンで見つけ出して抽出できるはずよ。
If this can scan for Tiefblau, it can probably scan for the antibodies and extract them. She continued to talk in a low, calm voice. Tsugumi, please help us. I'm asking
来
you.
ないで。たけし、
Stay away from me,
私
Takashi.
に触らないで。
Don't touch me. I had backed her up all the way to the bed.
そうまでして生きるなんて。
You want to live with this disease?
一度キュレイになれば戻れないの。
Once you've got the Cure virus, you can't go back.
どんな目に遭うか分かってるの？
Do you have any idea what you're in for? She couldn't go back any further. Tsugumi searched for the bed behind her with her hand. With the tip of her outstretched hand, she brushed across the only dose of serum left. We don't know that the Cure virus will infect everyone. Even you. You said you were special, right? Please, I'm begging you. Let me take a gamble, so that everyone can live. I stood quietly in front of Tsugumi. My legs were unsteady. My vision was hazy. But I stepped forward strongly and stood up straight. I looked deeply into Tsugumi's eyes. I was trying to look inside to see what lay behind them.
もう人でいられなくなるのよ。
You won't be able to stay with people
みんな
anymore.
にあんな辛い思いをさせたくはないの。
I don't want everyone to live with the pain that I have. Large tears welled in her
嫌よ。
eyes.
私は
I hate myself.
私は
I slapped Tsugumi on the side of her face. She clenched her jaw tightly against the pain and glared at me. Just then, I pounced on the remaining dose of the serum, stealing it out of Tsugumi's hand. I took it and smashed it into 1,000 pieces on the cold, hard surface of the examination room floor. It let out a sad little sound and splintered into powdery fragments.
何するのよ。
What are you doing? There's no other way. We've only got one option open to us now.
バカ。
You idiot.
なんてバカなことしてくれるのよ。
Do you know what you've done?
そんなことしなくたって
You didn't have to do that.
私が逆らえないの。
You
知っ
kn-
てるくせに。
You know I can't fight you. With her lips trembling and her shoulders shaking, Tsugumi sank down onto the bed. Yeah, I know.
バカ野郎。人でねし。
You animal.
卑怯者。
You're a coward. She nestled up close to me and began to cry. I don't care what you say. I don't care how much you curse me.
バカ。
Idiot.
バカ。もししくじったら
If you mess this up,
気で恨むわよ。
I'll never forgive you, Takashi. It's okay. It's going to be okay. I promise you. We're all going to get out of this, okay? She raised her voice in a loud wail. She started crying like a small child. She threw away everything that was holding her back and cried with everything she had. You started operating the terminal, the refining machine whirred to life. The scanner also started to move. Wiping away her tears, she stuck out her arm. You gently took her arm and drew some blood. The whole time, Tsugumi held onto my hand. She continued to cry, letting out sobs occasionally. My consciousness started to fade. I lost all sense of time. It was hard to tell if it was reality or a dream. Was I alive? Was I dead? Where was the me that was thinking about all these things?
もう大丈夫。
It's fine now.
うまくいったと思う。
I think it worked.
注射の用意はもうできてる。
I've prepared the shots.
だからあとはつぐみ
So next,
お願い。
it's up to you, Tsugumi.
これで
If
もし目覚めなかったら
you don't wake up from this,
許さないから。
I'll never forgive
あ
you.
なたのこと
Not as long as I live.
つぐみ、どこに行くの？
Tsugumi, where are you going?
あ
Oh
私
my.
友達を上に置いてきちゃったのよ。
I left a friend of mine upstairs.
迎えに行かなくちゃ。
I gotta go meet him. My best friend,
ジャンガリアンハムスター。
Jungarian hamster.
名前はチャミ。
His name is Charmy.
シャミ。
じゃあね。
See you. I woke from my stupor, a stale, cold feeling. I realized I'd been sleeping sprawled on the floor. I slowly raised my body. I tried opening and closing my fist. Strange. The movement left me with an uncomfortable sensation like it wasn't my own. I shook my head. I tried slapping my cheek. I breathed in the cold air, then breathed out. Strange. The inside of my head stayed dull and murky. I dragged myself to consciousness, forcefully reeling myself back to clarity. Putting my hands on the floor, I pulled up my heavy, aching body. My feet faltered. But somehow, I managed to stand. I looked around the infirmary. I saw several used syringes scattered on the floor. The kid was still slumped against Coco's pod. He looked disturbingly bad, just completely out of it. Tsugumi was nowhere to be seen. Wondered where she'd gone to. Yu was half slumped over the terminal console, snoring away. She looked like she was in some pain and was perspiring in her sleep. Her hand was pushed against the panel as if she was been in the middle of typing. On the monitor, auto-repeated strands of letters were lined up without meaning. What the? I heard a strange sound. I reinserted the voice converter into my ear. Wasn't a problem with the converter. Come in! IBF-3, please respond. This is the emergency rescue team from the Maritime Defense Force. We are being directed by Incel Null. Was I actually hearing someone's voice over the speaker? I hurried over to the terminal and removed Yu's hands from it, taking over the control panel. Hello? This is the IBF Infirmary, over! IBF-3, I repeat, this is the Maritime Defense Force Emergency Rescue Team calling from the control center at Incel Null. Can you hear me? Yeah, okay. Loud and clear. I was somehow able to force out an answer. Voices spilled out from the other end of the line. Hey, there are survivors down there. I can't believe it. That's amazing. That's what I wanted to say. Seemed like you had been able to restore the communication lines. We're sending a rescue team immediately. Can you access the pool in IBF-3? Yeah, it should be fine. Do you know how many survivors are there and where they are located? In the examination room, there are 6. 6. A copy. A rescue team is headed there in a private sector salvage vessel. When it arrives, I want you to follow its directions and get out of there. Get out of here. Get out of here! Oh! How long till they get here? They're going as fast as they can, but it'll take about an hour. 1 hour. Coco would be able to get out of the pod by then. I just hoped we had that long. However, if something goes wrong, there should be a small deep exploration submarine left in the research facility. I hate to make you do this, but I want you to escape to that area. Something goes wrong? What do you mean? Lemu's partition strength threshold is already being exceeded. If one section implodes, there's the risk that another area could collapse and start sinking. If that happens, we think there's a high possibility the heavy pieces could crash down on the research facility. You don't say. Of course, we're doing everything we can to get to you before that happens. We're heading there no matter what, so please, hang on a little longer. The communications cut out suddenly. Hey, wait a sec! I hit the call button repeatedly, but there was no answer. Damn it, can't open up communications from this side. I didn't have any other choice. Began reading through the manual on the side of the communication terminal. A mini-sub for deep-sea exploration. We hadn't found it when we'd searched the place. Ah, here it is! Following the instructions, I used the control panel to call up information on the monitor. It's a small electric submersible. The submarine was in a separate sealed sector attached to IBF. Specifications said it was a neutral buoyancy miniature submarine for saturation diving. Important thing is that it could be brought over to the pool by remote control. Things get dangerous, I guess they want us to board this. Quickly went about setting up the remote control program so we could move the submarine at a moment's notice if we had to. Alright. All we have to do now is get Tsugumi and Sora over here. Sora. How are we going to get Sora here? I was overcome by unease. Suddenly, a low metallic sound reverberated throughout the complex. The sound seemed to come from above. An alarm sounded from the terminal and the screen changed. Warning, flooding has occurred in Lemu. Lemu? This is bad. That means Tsugumi and Sora. I ran out into the corridor. It was only slight, but the floor was trembling. Ugh. I suddenly became dizzy again. Losing my balance, I crashed into a wall. It seemed I hadn't completely recovered yet. I didn't have any idea if the antibodies were working or not. Not a clue. I still gotta go. I have to go! I mustered all the strength I could and staggered towards the elevator. As soon as the door opened, I flew into the lift. The elevator headed up.
Tiefe 90 Meter. Tiefe 80 Meter. Tiefe 70 Meter.
The action music's beginning. Upward. The elevator stopped. Forcing open the door, I slipped into the pressurization chamber. The entrance had closed automatically. I pressed the intercom button repeatedly. Sora! Sora! Kuranari-san, what are you? Hey, it's been a while. Realized how much I'd missed that voice. I waved to Sora as she appeared outside the window. What are you doing here? Well, it's obvious, isn't it? I came back. What's the damage? There's flooding in Zweiderstock. The warehouse area has been breached, and cracks are beginning to form in the elevator shaft. The situation is serious. There's over 15 centimeters of flooding in almost all of the corridors. Where's Tsugumi?
救護室に閉じ込められて
She's trapped in the infirmary. What about the door?
電子ロックは解除されていますですが
The electronic lock has been released, but it won't open because of the water pressure.
ええ倉成さんチャンバーの減圧を開始します
Kunanari-san, I'm going to start decompressing the chamber. How long will it
最
take?
速で行います
I will complete it as soon as possible. I need to know how much time.
急いでも12時間
If I hurry, 12 hours. 12 hours? We don't have that long.
血液中に溶け込んだ窒素を排出しないと減圧症になってしまいます
If we don't dissolve the nitrogen in your blood, you'll get decompression sickness. I don't care. Open that door now.
できません
I can't do that. If you don't act fast, Tsugumi is dead.
今ドアを開けたら急激な減圧に伴って血液中の窒素が気化し血栓を作り最悪の場合
No, no. If we open that door now, the boiling point of your blood is so low that you will die immediately. You will boil your own blood. Alright. You know what? Do it, Sora. Don't care. You get that door open now.
そんな
I can't. It's too... I found an emergency escape lever inside the chamber and pulled on it. I kicked the door. There was a horrible noise, as though all the air inside had exploded. Because it did. My body was thrown from the room, along with the high-pressure gas that had built up inside. I was tossed like a piece of confetti, sliding and rolling along the floor all the way to the control room. My body crashed heavily against the wall. Gah. Pain racked my body. It wasn't because I had smacked into a wall. Although I kept spewing out my breath, it felt like air kept bubbling up in my lungs. Terrible exhaustion. My whole body felt strung out. My eyes felt swollen and painful. The muscles in my limbs began to jerk and spasm. Numbness, pain, headache. Felt like I had no room to move. Ugh. According to astronomers, humans could live for a short period of time even if they were thrown out of a spaceship into space. But fish brought quickly up from the sea depths to sea level died instantly because the pressure difference caused their organs to burst. So was I an astronaut or...
倉成さん変換器を
I felt a splitting pain deep in both ears. Repelled by my eardrums, the voice converters flew out of my ears. I hurriedly held both ears with the palms of my hands and knocked them, as though trying to drain water from them. I couldn't hear what Sora was screaming. All I could do was lie on the floor, trying to suck in air, like a fish that had been pulled out of the water. A few minutes passed. The earphones I'd been wearing had broken in half. I got up weakly. I saw some extra voice converters on the edge of the console, incredibly conveniently. Crammed them forcefully into my ears.
倉成さん大丈夫ですか
Are you okay? Tears welling up in her eyes, Sora looked at me with a pained expression. Okay, I'm still alive. At least my eardrums hadn't burst. I left Immel and started heading up. I checked the screen on my PDA. Showed a map of Lemu and a blinking dot showed me where Tsugumi was. On the console at Himmel, I'd installed a program to link data from Lemu's sensors to my PDA. Really convenient, that's a thing that existed! Sora had prepared it for me. You stop me, you hear? No matter what you say, I'm going.
倉成さん決意が終わりのようですね
Alright, Kunanari-san. It seems you've made up your mind.
私はこのヒンメルにとどまりレミューの状態を監視して PDA に転送します
I'll stay here in Himmel to keep track of the situation at Lemu and send updates to your
兵
PDA.
器をコントロールして崩落を食い止め1分1秒でも長く全艦が維持できるように努めておきます
I'll do what I can to stop the partitions from failing. To see that this place stays together even a little while longer,
小
so...
町さんと一緒に必ずここへ戻ってくるって約束してください
Promise me that you'll come back here with Komachi-san. Yeah, it's a promise. Running up the stairs, I looked down at my PDA again. Crankin' station. Life sign in the infirmary wasn't moving. The map showed that the surrounding corridors were flooded and there was no access to the area, but I knew what I had to do. The area I wanted to go was filled with water, but because the watertight doors shut on all sides of the floor, the water had stopped flowing. In that case, I thought I could make it. I went to the emergency corridor leading under the infirmary and dove in. How many times I had gone back and forth down that corridor. My PDA blacklight shined a weak light on the area before me. Even then, wondered how many more meters it was, but my body remembered. Even if I closed my eyes, I knew I could make it there. Turning off the light, I prepared myself forward through the darkness. I wouldn't let the darkness overtake me anymore. It wasn't something that I could run away from or be afraid of. I would take the darkness inside me and make it my own. That's why I wasn't afraid. There was nothing to be afraid of. Crankin' station! Crankin' station! Entering the room from the hole of the elevator shaft, I quickly climbed into the infirmary. Ow! I'm hit! I'm hit! She was in a corner of the room, hugging her knees to herself. At her feet was the slightly wet, furry figure of Charmy.
Takeshi!
Takeshi,
どうして？
why?
どうして？
Why? Tsugumi looked at me with wide open eyes. What are you so worked up about, Tsugumi? Came back to pick you up. I came back for you. Well, guess I'm a bit late, but I scratched my nose.
バカ！何しに来たのよ！
Idiot. What are you doing here?
死ぬ
Do you
つもりなの？
want to die? One after another, large tears started falling from her eyes. Listen. I was laughing as I spoke. I came back for something I forgot. Yeah, that's it.
忘れ物？
You forgot? Picking up Charmy in both hands, she stood up slowly. Yeah, left it here. Silly me. My irreplaceable. More important to me than anything else. Friend.
どうやって
How did you get here?
ここへ？
She looked at me as though she still couldn't believe I was actually there. Well, I'm a good swimmer. I actually swam down and back in a 25-meter pool once. Kicked off the wall coming back, but still. I waved my hands to dismiss it. Wait, I think I just broke my record. Hey, do you remember the furthest I've ever swum underwater?
51メートル。
51 meters? She answered, her expression beginning to break down. Yeah. You think I'd die in a place like this? I mean, still haven't gotten enough abuse from you yet. I want to hear what you gotta say from here on out. So, I came for you, Tsugumi.
たけし！たけし！
We ran to one another. Reaching out our hands, we came together. I gently wiped away the teardrops around her mouth with my lips. In the center of the infirmary, we held each other close, embracing firmly. Riding on both of our hands, Charmy snorted and looked at us. All right, let's go back. Together. Tsugumi softly held Charmy and hid him inside the chest of her clothing. We had no time to lose. It was only a matter of time before the place collapsed in on itself. We had to hurry. I knew that. But I wasn't in a rush. We could make it. I'd never quit. I'd never say it was too late. I knew it was going to be okay. Pulling on Tsugumi's hand, I flew like the wind.
倉成さん、小町さん、チャンバーの用意はできています。早く中へ。
I've prepared the chamber for you. Get inside, quickly! I opened up the sliding door and rushed to the other side of the glass. We went in the compression chamber for the IVF. Slouching back in a chair, Tsugumi struggled to catch her breath. I didn't think that I would be able to move for a while. Sora, you're coming too. What's wrong? You can't come no matter what? The door to the room shut automatically. The compression started. Sora. Sora stood silently outside of the chamber. Started to open up the door. Once again, I reached out to the emergency lever on the side of the door. But she just stood there without moving. She wouldn't make it. Water. Water was flooding into Himmel's control room. Her image broke up and disappeared. A fog enveloped Sora, covering her over. She disappeared without a word. An hour later. The room on the other side of the compression chamber had already filled with water. The compression finished. Tsugumi and I transferred to the lift and went down to IBF. As soon as we entered the room, the lights came on. It's quiet. Yeah, you're right. The flooding should have been fairly advanced in the area above us. Perhaps some of the sections had started to collapse, but the surface of the pool hardly even rippled, as if there was nothing going on. Wondered how much longer the place would hold. Ah!
どうしたの?
The time, we're past the scheduled time.
予定?
What schedule? Actually, there's a rescue team on its way. I probably should have mentioned that. Yeah, they called themselves the Maritime Defense Force, I think. Yu was able to open up a communication line in Cell Null. I turned the handle on the door of the examination room. The lights came back on in the room.
いない.
They aren't
みんないな
here.
くなってる.
Nobody's here? Tsugumi searched around the examination room. Then she checked each of the capsule pods. I also did a quick search of the room. Coco's pod was open. The manual for the control panel was open to the same page. The used bottles of serum lay strewn on the floor. Yeah. You, the kid, Coco, that researcher. They're all gone.
どこへ行ったの?
Where did they go? Tsugumi was starting to panic. Hey, hold on. I'm sure the rescue team found them. Just then, voice I recognized came over the speaker. I hit the talk button. Tsugumi was next to me, staring at the monitor. This is Incel Null Control. Please respond. This is the examination room in IBF 3. Over. Oh, thank goodness. That's where you were. A little while ago, we got a message from the dispatch team. They couldn't find you. You had us worried there. Sorry, I was out for a bit. We were able to rescue the other 3 people in the examination room. They are being cared for in the salvage vessel. Is everyone okay? I can't say for sure. Their conditions are serious. We're fighting against time. The submersible is going to surface soon and we'll transfer them to a floating medical center. Okay. You take care of them. How many people are there with you? 2, including me. There's one person that didn't make it. Roger. We'll send the team back there as soon as we can. But there is the possibility that the team won't be able to approach IBF if it starts to break up. I've got the exploration vessel standing by. I can call it here by remote control, right? Yeah. I'm sorry to have to ask you to use it, but there's nothing else we can do. We'll do the best we can. Whatever happens, you hang in there. Roger. The communication cut out.
どういうこと?
What's that supposed to mean? You weren't listening? It means all this would be for nothing if everyone died while they were waiting for us. Rescue team decided to put a higher priority on getting you, the kid, and Coco to the hospital rather than waiting for us.
そう.
Yeah.
そうよね.
You're right. The color in Tsugumi's face slowly returned to normal as her sense of panic faded. Well, might just take a nap until the next bus comes.
バス?
And if you think the bus is gonna be late, call a taxi for me, will ya?
タクシー? 何言ってるのよ、たけし.
What are you talking about, Takeshi? If you push that button, a small submarine will come over here by remote control. Our very-own private taxi should come here from another area of IBF. Anyway, just glad that everyone's alright. Yeah. The adrenaline that had kept me going earlier suddenly ran out. I'm just so glad.
Takeshi!
My legs suddenly gave out. My head struck the hard surface of the floor, but before I could feel anything, I slipped into a deep sleep as Tsugumi held me in her tight embrace. A soft warmth surrounded me. Light. I felt that I had overcome an immense distance, the end of the darkness. A soft white light surrounded me. There was nothing else for me to look at. There was nothing below me, nothing to support me, but for some reason, I was at peace. I was floating steadfastly. I was swaying freely in the center of gently drifting water. I could hear something faintly, the first sound I'd heard in my life. Yes, it was the sound of a heart beating. I remembered. I was surrounded by the gentle sound of a beating heart. There was no greater feeling of peace than what I felt then. How long would I be able to stay there? I didn't know. I knew that I would have to leave the place at some point. I would have to let go of that fragile bond soon, but it wasn't sad. That time must come. Darkness cleared again, and out of it would come a new world, where I would resolve to be reborn.
Ohayo.
Good morning. I was lying down in a bed. Right next to me, Tsugumi was staring at me. She was squatting next to the bed, her eyes level with mine. We stared at each other eye to eye. What time is it? That was the first thing I could think to say. Well? Tsugumi took the PDA out of my pocket. The batteries are dead. She pressed the buttons, but nothing appeared on the screen. Oh. You want me to check the clock on the terminal? That's okay. Just stay here with me. There were tears in Tsugumi's eyes. How are you feeling? That's a dumb question. Just tell me. How are you feeling? Tsugumi held my hand softly. The feel of her soft skin seemed like it would pull me in. I don't feel so good. My body feels tired all over. Could be worse, I guess. I tried opening and closing the hand that was free in front of my face. My movements were still sluggish. Your cut doesn't hurt? Cut? You fell over. I tried to stop you from falling, but didn't get there in time. You split your forehead, Takashi. Tsugumi opened her glossy lips slightly and murmured. I could see the tip of her red tongue. Forehead split? You don't remember? I slowly looked around the room. The ceiling, sheets, the empty syringes on the floor. Oh, okay, I remember. I touched my forehead lightly. A gash must have been split wide open. There were stitches there. No big deal. Something like this ought to heal right up. But I'm so sorry. Why are you apologizing? Isn't your fault, right? Isn't anyone's fault. So don't worry about it. I patted Tsugumi on the head. I was alive. Even though I was banged up pretty good, I was alive. Besides, it wasn't a big deal. I looked around the room once more. There was nobody else there, just the two of us, and the silence. It was almost too quiet to believe. Where's the bus? Doesn't look like it's coming. How about a taxi? I've already sent for it. Communications? Since that one, we haven't had any. I could see the monitor. It reported that the remote control guidance was working normally. It would take 1 hour for it to reach our pool. But it seemed the submarine was making its way without any glitches. Guess that leaves us some time to relax until the taxi gets here. Won't do us a bit of good getting worked up about it. Yeah? Even if I'd wanted to. My body wasn't doing what I wanted it to. Felt like I was running low on batteries. I was exhausted. Couldn't think straight. I'd gone beyond the limits of my strength and spirit. Huh? I noticed something and brought my face closer to Tsugumi.
何たけし
What, Takashi? Takashi, I almost pressed myself against her and brought myself close to her face.
何よ
What? Her cheeks, which had been puffed up from crying, started to turn slightly red. I'm hungry. Are you shitting me right now, Takashi? I murmured, pulling my face up close. I feel like I could eat just about anything.
そう
Really? And guess what, Tsugumi?
何よ
Tsugumi's face became redder and redder. It's just the most amazing smell coming from you. Her eyebrows arched as if she was annoyed. Hey, you're not hiding anything, are you? Food? I reached out for her chest.
ダメよ
Stop it! She quickly covered herself with her
あ
arms.
なたまさかチャミを食べる気
You aren't going to eat Charmy, are you?
それだけはダメ絶対ダメ
You can't. I won't let you. As if I would,
バカ
stupid.
って言わないで
Don't call me stupid. Stupid. Her expression returned to normal. She undid a few of her buttons and let Charmy out
ず
from
っ
her
とこんな
shirt.
とこに押し込めててごめんねチャミ
I'm sorry for keeping you in there the whole time,
ちょっと
Charmy.
挟んでおいで
It's okay. You can go play now. I watched the whole time.
たけし
Tsugumi spoke to me as she redid her buttons. You were watching, weren't you? What?
何ってその
What do you mean, what? When I
見
was...
たいの
Did you want to see more? More what? Ah, forget it. You jerk. Sorry, I was looking at your boobies. A low vibrating sound shot across the room. The bed shook slightly.
大丈夫
It's okay. She looked up for a second, then quickly returned her
安心
gaze.
して
Don't worry, all right?
まだ
We're okay for now.
大丈夫だと
I think.
うんきっと大丈夫よ
Yeah, we'll be fine. I know it.
根拠は何もないけどね
I don't have any proof, but
なんだかまるでたけしみたいなこと言ってる
huh, I'm even starting to
ど
talk
うか
like
して
you
るわ
now.
ね私
Must be something wrong with me. I sat up quickly. I grabbed hard onto Tsugumi's hand. What
Nani?
is it?
いきなり
I know, Tsugumi.
何が
This is incredible.
だから何なのよ
What are you talking about? Flustered, Tsugumi's cheeks changed color in her confusion. I've made a major discovery. I brought her hand close to me. Tsugumi's face was right next to mine. All right, listen up.
ええ
I know where that great smell is coming from. It's you. Eh?
Eh?
Correct reaction. You're what smells so great. Jeez, you smell good. What a sweet smell. Perfect. Let me just have one bite.
ちょっと
What are you doing?
やだ話して
Let go of
話して
me.
よいてバカやめな
Cut
さい
it out. Ow. Hey, do you really have to smack me? Yes.
だって
Hey, I'm just an injured man over here. I'm just a little guy. You wouldn't hit a little guy in glasses on his birthday.
だから怪我人らしく
Well, act like
話しな
one.
さいよ
Lie there quietly.
バカいきなり人の指かじるなんて
What were you thinking, biting my finger like that? My teeth had left an imprint on her finger. Thank you. I'm still hungry, but I feel a little better. Couldn't keep sitting up, so I lay down in bed
信じら
again.
れない。
I can't believe you did that. The tears that had dried up just a bit ago were in Tsugumi's eyes again. Ha! I laughed at the situation. There wasn't much strength left in me, but I laughed anyway. I'm a man of insatiable desires. When I get hungry, I stuff my face. When I get sleepy, I sleep like a bear. Give me a chance, and I'll be thinking about hanky-panky. Hanky-panky, come on. It's all I think about. Beyond salvation, right? Hey, did you notice that the infirmary is called the Crankin Station? Ha!
バカみたい。
Stupid. She tried to smile back at me. Her voice dried up and tears began to fall. Ha! I'm such an idiot. Come on. Laugh at a fool like me, will ya?
バカね。
Yeah. You are an idiot. Tsugumi laughed.
本当に。大バカね。
You are the world's biggest idiot.
信じられないくらい。バカなのね。
Can't believe how stupid you are. It never
いつも。
stops.
どうしてあんなバカなこと。
How'd you ever get to be so dumb? She was smiling, but her tears wouldn't stop falling. No reason, I guess. Just trying to live all out. Because I don't want to
本
die.
当にたったそ
Really?
れだけのことで。
That's it? The tears continued to fall. I think there were some things that I was taking too lightly. There are people who go on living even when they want to die. And people that die who want to keep on living. I had no idea that was how things were. Guess I was pretty naive about the way the world works. Until coming to Lemu, that is. But then, I met you. The way I thought about things changed. The world isn't always filled with good things. Yeah? She nodded. I calmly wiped away her tears. But I don't want you to think that living is something to be embarrassed about, or something that you should hate. Think that as long as you're alive, it's okay to live. Think there are good things waiting for you. Wait, not just that. Being alive is a good thing in itself. And that way, my thinking still hasn't changed. She nodded. We held each other's hands. I don't know how to say it, but I looked up towards the heavens I couldn't see. I didn't know if there was something above. Didn't really know if it mattered. Maybe all I had to do was accept what was there. The reason we keep living, in other words. What does it mean to die? Does everything really end when we die? Until you can really stare reality in the face, I think you should wait. Put it on hold. It isn't time for me to die yet. I just can't die yet. You can't either. And neither can any of the rest of us. Until that time comes, all of us should live. She nodded, as if in deep understanding. Hey, Tsugumi.
何
I looked deeply into her eyes. I was trying to see if there was light inside there. I wanted to get as close as I could and see. Hey, you're bleeding from your finger.
さっきあなたが噛んだからでしょ
You bit me earlier, right? Is that so?
そうよ。
Yeah, that is so. Sorry. Tsugumi's face was close enough that we were almost touching noses. Closer. Closer still.
今度は何
Now what is it? You got blood on your lips.
そう
Really? That's not my fault.
本当に出てるの
Are you being serious? Blood. Yeah. You're lying.
うん出てるかも
Maybe you're right.
さっき建物が揺れてぶつけたから
Probably from when the building shook earlier. Looks painful.
痛かったらたけしのせいだからね
Well, if it hurts, it's your fault, Takashi. You think so? Yeah. Maybe you're right.
責任取ってくれる？
How are you gonna make up for it? She pressed her lips tightly on mine. I could smell her scent. I could taste her blood, taste her tears. She bit down on my lower lip, and my blood started to flow. We were pressed together as tightly as we could be, embracing one another with everything we had. Our bodies came together, became one. Oh, chicka bow wow. I felt her breath. I felt her pulse. I felt the warmth of her body. A fragrant smell wafted from her neck, a musky smell. It made me slightly dizzy. It was sweet. Such a sweet smell.
たけし、たけし、起きてよ。
Takashi, get up.
タクシーが着いたわ。
Taxi's here. Man. A quickie and then he fell asleep. Truly a man. Jumped out of the bed and stood up. Stretched my arms and loosened my shoulders. I felt pretty good. Took a deep breath as I fixed my clothes, rumpled during sleep. My mind was firing and my head felt clear.
チャミ、おいで。
Hey, Charmy, come here.
そろそろ行くよ。
Come on, we gotta get going now. Tsugumi scooped up Charmy, who'd been running around on the floor, and held him to her
あ
chest.
れ？
Bending over, Tsugumi let out a cry of alarm. What's wrong,
たけ
Tsugumi?
し、ベッドの下。
Takashi, under the bed. Under the bed? Mine? I looked under the bed I'd been sleeping on. Someone was lying there. I reached out and pulled whatever it was closer to me. Huh?
ピピ。
It was Pee-Pee. Hey, Pee-Pee, what's going on? What are you doing here? Pee-Pee didn't respond. All of the color had vanished from his eyes. He didn't move at all. Pee-Pee was frozen as if he was dead. There was something stuck fast in his mouth. I took it out gently. It was a disc. A terabyte disc made of polycarbonate. I put the disc Pee-Pee had been carrying in my pocket. So it's Sora. What the heck? With a roaring sound, the whole room suddenly shook violently and my body
5
vibrated.
Minuten vor der Implosion.
Whoopsie poopsie. Hey, what did that announcement just say? Holding Pee-Pee under my arm, I looked at the ceiling. Tsugumi quickly got up.
赤い。5分前。
We've got 5 minutes. Until this place implodes. 5 minutes? Oh, give me a break. They gotta tell us when there's only 5 minutes left? Give us some more warning for crying out loud. Started mumbling complaints to myself. Maybe it was mostly for show. Tsugumi let out a big sigh.
とにかく5分前なの。
Anyway, we've only got 5 minutes. Tsugumi shrugged her shoulders exaggeratedly and stared at me. But for some reason, she seemed to be
素
smiling.
直に現実を受け入れなさいよ。
You just got to accept reality.
ね。
You could learn something from me, you know? Ha! Listen to yourself, Tsugumi. Telling jokes at a time like this is more my style, don't you think?
まあね。
Well, I guess you're right.
でも5分もあれば大丈夫でしょ。
But you should be fine if you got 5 minutes, right? A smile floated to her lips and Tsugumi held out a hand to me. Of course. Took her hand firmly.
4 Minuten vor der Implosion.
The shaking and rumbling of IBF continued. I could hear the sound of the water rushing in and striking against the watertight hatches somewhere. Ominous metallic sounds rang out from above, and I wouldn't have been surprised if the ceiling had suddenly ruptured. But still, we ran without stopping. We were running to get out of there. I held on to Tsugumi's hand the whole time. Her body moved fluidly as she ran. We ran in sync with each other. We passed through a door that stood wide open at the end of the passages. On the top of the pool, which looked like it was threatening to overflow at any moment, our mini sub was waiting for us. Yes! At least something's going right. The taxi's even waiting for
当
us.
然でしょ。
Well, of course. Tsugumi looked at me with a smug
タク
face
シ
and
ーなんだ
said,
から。
It's a
勝手
taxi.
にお客をすっぽかしたりしないのよ。
They aren't just going to leave us high-tipping customers here. Huh, yeah, you're right. Oh, no. Forgot my
バ
wallet.
カね。
Idiot.
好きにしておきなさいよ、そのくらい。
Well, we'll put it on your tab. Alright. Yeah, in Lieblic's name.
もちろん。
Of course.
3 Minuten vor der Implosion.
3 minutes until implosion. We scrambled to the sub and jumped down the hatch. Controls were simple. Close the hatch on the top by pressing a button. The submarine slipped out from the pool and into the middle of the ocean. The ocean currents quickly pushed us out to sea, away from the sinking Lemu. Yes, Lemu was... Paradise was. Our home for 7 days was warping and folding on itself like some kind of crumpled old newspaper. Scattered as it collapsed like a child's wooden blocks that hadn't been stacked properly. Letting out its final breath of bubbles, it disappeared to the bottom of the deep blue sea. We were moving up. The small, fragile egg we were in floated quietly towards the surface.
これからどうするの？
What do we do from here? Tsugumi asked in a quiet voice. There's so much I want to do. I answered as I placed the motionless peepee on the seat next to me. But first, I was thinking more about where to start. What about you, Tsugumi? What do you want to do? What? You don't like the question?
そんなことないわ。
No, it's not that.
私もゆっくり考えてみてもいい？
Can I have a minute to think about it? Sure.
今の音。
What was that sound? I don't know. The operating console made a funny
何
sound.
の音？
What's that noise? No clue. Hey, something just came up on that screen over there. The monitor behind Tsugumi started blinking.
なんて書いてあるの？
What does it say? You're closer than I am. Why don't you turn around? Look at it yourself.
嫌よ。
No,
見たくない。
I don't want to see it.
嫌な感じがするから。
I've got a bad feeling about this. Don't be selfish. Not left with any other choice, I peeked at the monitor. Which one? Low battery. That's what it says. The lights in the sub suddenly went out. The monitor went dark. All the power went out. The electrical equipment went silent. The only thing still working was the analog pressure gauge. Depth, 63 meters. Internal pressure, 12.5 atmospheres. Submarine was set to saturation diving specifications. Pressure on the inside was higher than the pressure on the outside.
たけし。
It's okay. We're gonna be fine. Stop looking like you're gonna cry. 64 meters. We'd lost our upward momentum. The submarine was beginning to sink slowly. Very slowly. Residual air pressure, 0. Ballast tank, unable to drain. We hitched a ride on a junker. You know, this cab always seems to stall on these country roads. I'm sorry, esteemed passenger. 65 meters. I looked at the aft hatch. Had a 2-ply hatch. The inner side was made of reinforced glass and FRP, while the outer side had a door made from high-strength steel. Hey, you think if we let some of the high-pressure gas out of the hatch, we'd start rising
無
again?
理よ。まっ
No.
すぐ浮上できるとは思えないし、勢いなんてたかが知れてる。
I don't think we'll go straight up, and our momentum would be
そんなことを
limited.
すれば、浸水転覆するのは目に見えてる。
Not to mention the fact that if we do that, we'll start
余分
flooding.
な圧搾空気だってないんだから。
We don't have any spare compressed
そ
air.
もそもこの本体を浮かべるための浮力が不足してるの。
We don't have enough buoyancy in the main fuselage. Buoyancy.
バラストを捨てないと。
We've got to get rid of the ballast. Ballast? 66 meters.
本来ならバラストのバルブは電動制御される。
The valve used to release ballast is usually electronically
だけど、
controlled, but now
今
we're...
は
Alright, let's just stay calm. Judging by how fast we're sinking, we only need to be a little bit lighter, right? And get rid of a few dozen kilograms, we should be fine. Why not try pulling out a few of these machines over there? That'd make us
簡単
lighter.
に引っこ抜けると思う？
You think it's going to be easy? Well, they seem to be welded on fairly well. Probably not easy to do barehanded. We don't have any tools.
無理よ。
Well, that's it, huh? Tsugumi bit her lip and looked down. Yeah, we're screwed. 67 meters. Sinking. We were sinking.
ぬか喜びしちゃったね。
Looks like we celebrated too soon, doesn't it? Her shoulders shook from disappointment and she laughed without conviction.
バカみたい。
So stupid. So stupid.
バカみたい。
She audibly sucked in her breath.
何やってるのよ、たけし。
What are you doing, Takashi? What? Can't tell by looking? I'm opening the hatch.
だから何やってるのよ。
That's what I'm asking you. What are you doing? Do you even need to ask? 68
やめ
meters.
てよ。
Stop it!
何をする気なの？
What are you planning to do? Tsugumi grabbed onto my arm. Don't try to stop me. I threw off Tsugumi's arm and raised the glass hatch. It was just large enough for one person to go through. Please don't touch me.
いや、
No,
離さない。
I won't let you go. Tsugumi grabbed onto my arm firmly. The hatch was
死ん
closing.
でも離してやらないから。
I don't care if I die. I'm not letting go. 69 meters. Nice. Slowly but steadily, we wouldn't stop sinking. You know, you really are selfish. I thought for a bit, and slowly opened my mouth. Hey, Tsugumi. You know what the Archimedes principle is? For a moment, Tsugumi's grip relaxed. In that brief instant, I tore myself forcefully away from her grasp. I quickly closed the glass hatch and slipped to the back of the airlock. After I jumped inside, it was surprisingly easy to close the hatch from within. Once the hatch was closed, I shut the latch right away. 70 meters. Tsugumi was stunned. Her eyes were opened up as wide as they would go, and she stared at me from the other side of the glass.
たけし、何やってるの？
What are you doing?
出てきて。
Open it up! Get out of there! Tsugumi wildly pounded on the reinforced glass with her fist. She tried as hard as she could to pull up the lever, but was unable to. Tsugumi, what are you saying? Glass is pretty thick, you know. I really can't hear very well.
バカ！開けろって言ってるの。
Open it up this instant!
何考えてるのよ。
What are you thinking? Tears started falling from Tsugumi's wide open eyes. Drops fell in a constant stream. Tears in her fist pounded against the glass. The glass creaked as she hit it. 71 meters. Hey, wait a second, didn't you? I thought you knew about the Archimedes principle. I mean, I think you were the one who taught me about it. Guess you'd know that. Sorry. Haha.
笑い事じゃないの。冗談じゃない。
This isn't funny. Stop joking.
そういう問題じゃ
This isn't.
ないんだよ。
It's not about that.
たけしの。
Takashi, you idiot. Tsugumi sobbed as she screamed. Yeah, I'm an idiot. Biggest one there is. You didn't know that, Tsugumi? Oh, he says the same thing to Sora before he drowns, too. 72 meters. No matter how hard she pounded on the glass, it didn't break. The hatch wouldn't open, and it wouldn't break either. Looked fairly sturdy. Made me feel good to know it would hold. Well, anyway, gotta make sure this little egg stays afloat. Put one hand behind me on the other hatch. If I could open it up, she'd be safe. I slowly turned the handle. Takashi! Tsugumi stopped hitting the glass. No!
まさか
Do you really
死ぬ気なの？
want to die? Don't worry. I didn't look away when I spoke to her and said firmly, I may be stupid, but I'm not that stupid. 73 meters. I kept turning the handle with my other hand. Just a little more.
お願い。一人に
Please,
し
don't
ないで。
leave me.
私を
Don't leave me all by myself.
一人にしないで。
There you go, always worrying. I forced a smile. Keep telling you it's gonna be okay, right? You wanna live, don't you? So live. As long as you're alive, live. Don't worry. I'm not going to die. 74 meters. The hatch on the bottom of the submarine opened. The air which had been compressed in the airlock was jettisoned into the ocean. My body shot out like a bullet into the water. I could no longer hear her voice. It In the middle of the ocean, her voice wouldn't carry to me. On the other side of the glass, I could make out her blurry outline. Tsugumi's face was covered with tears, broken with sadness. Her image refracted through the water. 75 meters. Grabbed onto a rail on the outside of the submarine and steadied myself. Closed the outside hatch. I couldn't see her anymore. I wouldn't be able to see her again. 76 meters. I let go of my last source of support and kicked the sub. Released from its support, my body went flying into a jet black ocean filled with sparkling fragments of light. 77 meters. My consciousness was floating, but my will steadfastly clung to my body. It was still there, even if it was threatening to turn to dust, even if it was threatening to be torn apart. Live as long as you are alive. That was what I wanted. Maybe it was just stubbornness. I was sinking to the bottom of the ocean, my field of vision filled with white bubbles, heading up towards the heavens. I closed my eyes slowly. That was when I realized for the first time that I was there. I'm here. I am here. My body dissolved in the ocean, mixing with it, becoming one with it. Drowning! Oh, Takashi, you big maroon. Oh, we gotta get the, one life sign detected. You are the only one in the infinity loop. You are the only one caught in the infinity loop. Yeah, come on. Let's see it. Show me the life sign night count. Dun, dun, dun. Sure is. Credits rolled! Only you are in the infinity loop. Opening the third eye, the last chapter, Finding Coco. Next time we play Ever17, we finally get the true story. What a weird freaking game. What a weird freaking game. But we can finally do it. We can finally get the truth. The truth of the matter. Ooh.